Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Welcome if you're new. I am Stacy, and tonight we are going to, I'm going to zoom out for a little hot second, show you guys, use my Caran crayons. These are a favorite medium of mine. I got them this year, and I haven't used them on a piece in a little while, so I thought we would use them on my snowman piece. I'm going to scooch them over this way a little bit, just so that I have a little bit of elbow room to work over here. The colors that I pick to use, I will set right here so you guys can see them. I have a few things that live in here as well. I have some Kiritake graphite watercolors in different colors that came in the one of my Sketchbox art boxes, and then I have a couple blending tools. I have an eraser in here. Sometimes I'll throw a paintbrush in here if I want to take this with me somewhere. But for the most part, I use them as an oil pastel. And sometimes I will glaze the top of the color to get that more solid look. I'm going to zoom in on the piece. Tonight we are going to do a snowman, which is one of my sister's favorite things on the world. So if this turns out the way I want it to, I'm probably going to send it to her as a late Christmas present. I'll frame it and mail it to her. It'll make her whole year, because she'll leave it out even in just because she likes snowmen. I'm going to start with, I think I'm going to start with, maybe I'll start with, I think I want to do a blue background. Let's do like a, what's this? This is a light blue. Let's do a light blue background. I'm just gonna, the paper's pretty textured. Let's put a little bit in right here. I want this to kind of be free and gestural feeling, very artistic, loose, a little bit stylistic. So I'm going to leave the graphite in there. Pretty heavy, it doesn't usually bother me, but I thought we'll try this here. Put down a layer of color. Just like you would when you're color crayoning in a was part of the joy of these is when it's just like using color crayons, only you take a paintbrush and some water and gently, you don't need a lot of water either, wet them like so, and they will blend out. Isn't that beautiful? Now I did want to challenge myself to use these in a more watercolor kind of way this year, this coming year, 2023. Because I do tend to use them in a more, what do you call it, in a more oil pastel kind of way. Just go ahead and loosen that pigment and move it around. And once again, I want this to be pretty, and you can put these in a palette and wet them like you would traditional watercolor. You don't have to actually scribble right on the page. You don't have to put the pigment on the page. You can slice off a piece of pigment and put it in a palette and wet it within the palette. Where's my palette that I usually use? I usually use this, and I will wet the crayon into the palette like so to get a watercolor effect, that loose, light, translucent feel like that. which isn't a bad thing. I love watercolors. Watercolors are a favorite medium. But I also like this deep dark texture that we get over here by putting down the pigment first on the page and then wetting it. So just throw down a layer like so. And you can do one layer, you can do several layers, you can do several colors and get, we'll play around with different colors on the scarf, see what happens. This is damp, so I'm going to go around it for now. This is when you lay it down on the damp paper, it kind of blends out like that. And just grab our water and move that medium around on the page. And of course, the more medium you put on the paper, the more solid color you're going to get. It also depends how you spread it around. If you lift all the color up and blend it around, it will fill all the pockets of the paper. Get in all those textures. I like a lot of texture though in my artworks, so it doesn't really bother me if there's texture. If you can see like the crayon marks, that's not going to bother me once it dries. You can use a stiff brush too if you have a certain area that's not blending out the way you want, or you got the pigment a little too heavy in one area and not in another. And this paper is really nice too. It's the Strathmore 140-pound cold press paper. I'm not sure what series it is, but it doesn't, trying to work up that spot right there. It actually plays really nice with these crayons, in my opinion. Just enough tooth on the page, right? Now we'll come down here, put some pigment in down here. Get some water, really loosen and move that pigment around. And I mean, if you're going to scrub around, this is one of my watercolor brushes. You may not want to use your watercolor brush to do this. It might ruin it. Just so you're aware. Maybe use a stiffer synthetic brush. As you can tell, I'm not too terribly worried about it. Okay, there we go. How's that? Yeah, that's not bad. Okay. Now my scarf, how did I draw this? This is the scarf here and there. So I think in between here. Can be a little blue. Actually, I got some watercolor on that towel. That's part of the snowman. That's okay. Come over here. Wet the area and put pigment down. I haven't done that. Oh, that's intense. Okay. And all these spots where I fussed about, I'll go back over those once they dry. We'll see what happens. Okay. Next, that's the blue. I want to take this, where are you? Indigo. I do love me some indigo. And you can scribble right in, like on the side of your palette, like this if you want to. And that'll lay your color down, and then you can take some water and wet that down. And that'll create your wash. And you can come in and drop in shadow colors. Kind of loose and free like that. And a little shadow around those. Like that. Yeah, I like that. And maybe some here. Underneath that hat rim. Do that carrot a little bit. Coming around like that. That's not bad, right? Okay. Now maybe we will put in some, that was our indigo. Used super light as just a gentle wash for shadow colors. Think maybe I'm going to use maybe a red for a scarf. Do we want it bright Christmas red or more of a deep alizarin crimson? Ooh, exciting. Okay, alizarin crimson. Put some in here. Set that there so you guys can see it. A little bit of water. And really wash that around. That's kind of, it's kind of, you know what I want to do? Pick up some of the graphite right here. And some of the graphite on the scarf. Okay, that's good. See, it's quite a bit of graphite that we picked up. Okay, now grab our alizarin. It's not very cheery, is it? It's kind of muddy. That's alright. We'll use it as base color. Get it in there. And just block in our scarf shape. Like so. water. Get that traveling around like that. If you guys hear the TV noise in the background, my boyfriend's out there watching TV while I paint. We're kind of just hanging out and having a chill evening. Alright, let's do a little more. Maybe we'll put some pink in it. How about that? Ooh, some real pink. What are you? Salmon pink. Like that. And once again, I'm one who likes a lot of texture in my work, so I don't mind all the textures that the paper's creating and that the lines create. Oh, that looks really pretty. Okay. Maybe a little through here. Yeah, I'm digging it. Alright. And I do see where the color bled down. We'll tend to that in a little bit. I wonder if I could pick it up. If I wet it like so. Or we could just use it, right? Incorporate it as part of the shadows. Yeah, I don't mind that. Alright. A little bit of interest to our piece. Why not? Okay. Alright. So that's our pink. And maybe with the pink we will go in with a more true red. Let's see. Scarlet. Color that in. Kind of like blocking in. Good, like that. Yeah. Alright, now what happens when we dampen and blend those together? And this is what I like to do with this, is just glaze it over the top of the color and kind of soft blend it like that. Just kind of push the pigments into each other. Yeah, that looks beautiful. And it's minimal amount of water. Wet the brush, dry the brush, and then glaze it over the top like that. Kind of pushing and pulling the pigment into and next to each other. It makes for a nice effect, I think. And it fills in the tooth of that paper a little bit. Good. Maybe a little that. And like that. Yeah, I think that's pretty. Okay, so let's continue doing that then. Well, this is the scarlet. We're putting it in next to our pink. Kind of like that. Good. Touch of water. Dry that brush a little bit. Maybe a little more. And just pull that pink and red down. Kind of into and against each other. And that line underneath where that knot is. And then just pull those colors down. How's that look? Ooh, I'm so happy. It's it looks so pretty. Okay, let's keep going. So excited. And where that knot meets right there. Where they overlap each other a bit right there. Pull that down. Like a touch more pink over here. Yeah, I think that looks so pretty. Okay, a little piece of hair right there. Now let's do a little bit of the scarlet on this part in our little negative space areas. Maybe a touch right here. That and like that. Okay, we'll take our paint and dampen it. Just give it a soft, just kind of softening it. Just softening it. Isn't that pretty? Like that. And then soften that out down there. And like that. Get rid of some of that red. Get that pink moving down. Glaze the top of that, just the surface and it kind of blends it and moves it. Isn't that nice? And once again, you can use a firmer brush if you want to, or more water. I found that if I use a lot of water, it dilutes the medium too much for my taste. There. There. And then just pull it down like that. Leave our wispy ends to our scarf. Yeah, there's our scarf. I'm going to let it dry. I may want to go in with some different textures and brighten some areas up and deepen some color, but there's the 3 colors that I put on the scarf so far. And that's our shadows and sky. See, we've got a little bloom right here where I scrubbed the color. And you can see that it's not a smooth application. If you put the color down directly on the surface of the paper, it's not going to give you a completely smooth coverage like you might want. Once again, I don't mind the textures. I like it. Okay, so let's get our holly in. I think I'd like it to be, let's start with a little bit of an olive color. This is moss green, and we'll kind of just get the dark parts in, and then we'll make it more interesting in a minute. Kind of like that. Into the hat area. Like that. Block in a little bit of color. I've got another one coming around like that. Get some color going there. Okay, that's our moss green. And then maybe we'll put some Chinese green in it, just to kind of give it a little sparkle. And we'll see how they blend. They might cancel each other out, right? Let's do that, and then let's blend a bit, see what happens. Pull that down. Just lock those shapes in a little bit too. Kind of digging that. And I do have a couple of reference photos up for Holly, Snowman, and just for color ideas, not anything specific. I usually do a snowman every year for the holiday season. There we go, like that. And there, good. And we'll let that dry as well. And then maybe we'll come back in with some delineating marks. Yeah, I think we'll wait till it dries to do that. Okay, set those there. Let's try, maybe we'll get in our carrot next. Do a nice bright orange, right? Yeah, this is just a regular orange. Because carrots are pretty textured. And I want my carrot to be a little wonky shaped too. Don't want it to be a perfect carrot shape. Does that make sense? How's that? Yeah, that's this carrot shape. And then we'll glaze that into the page. Ooh, that's nice and bright. I like that. Glaze that in like that. Just with the tip of the brush and kind of just dampening the color so that it blends out onto the page like that. I love it. Love, love, love. Maybe a little cast of orange on those buttons just to carry some of the color through the piece. And then maybe the berries can have a little bit of orange in them as well. And I'm putting a cluster of berries instead of just like two or three. There's a cluster of them. So it's okay to block that in like that. Okay. Yeah, see, that carries that orange through the piece a little bit. I like that. And I think for the buttons, instead of black, we're going to go with indigo. Like that. A little orange button glow. Why? Because it's my art piece and I can do what I want. That's why. As you can with yours. Alright. And then we might do indigo for the hat as well. I'm digging the purple instead of black effect. Anybody else digging that purpley effect instead of black? There. Yeah, I like that just touch of orange down there. Dig it. We might make it a little heavier application in a minute. We shall see. Alright, now if we're going to do the indigo on the hat, we can go ahead and put it in right now in the dark areas. There. A little bit along the rim. The edge of that rim. Right there. Then be pretty dark in here because that's shadow area. Maybe a bit of darkness back here. And then along this edge up here. Right through here. Across the top of the hat. Then in here, right there, right there. And on the other side of our berries right here. Except that's our scarf, or that's the little hat rim scarf thingamajigger, so maybe we will dampen this and lift it out. Try again. And lift. That's a little better. Alright. So then we will take our brush and get in our hat shape. Like so. Purposely leaving light areas for glow to lend it a little continuity, some shape, if you will. There's our shadow right there. And then dry that brush off and pull that around a bit. Like that. Ta-da! I think I'd like a little bit of light right here. Good. Okay. And then get our hat shape in right there. Just go ahead and darken these areas up. They would be our shadows, like so, and then pull them around. That indigo is an intense color. There we go. Pull that shadow that way. Grab some water. Grab some pigment and then just see how intense that color is. I'm purposely not touching that line right yet. I have enough pigment right here to do what I want. to get the hat shape going. Like so. There we go. Now I can get that dark down right here. And then just gently drag that over so it's not stark white right there. Oh yeah, I love how that turned out. Nice. Alright, I'm digging this, you guys. See, I got orange down here on my dude, on his face. I'm gonna just move it around, kind of blend it in. Try and find a cleanish spot on my rag and blot that area up a little bit. Alright, maybe our hat rim can be scarlet and pink as well. And our little hat scarf situation. And pink here along that top ledge, right there, out here along this ledge, and then kind of fill in the gaps a bit, and then take some water. I'm going to zoom in so you can really see what I'm doing here. Okay. And this is pretty dry. I mean, it's just going to drop a tiniest little bit of water down, enough to move the pigment but not, and just the lightest bit of pressure to kind of blend gently and softly. Just pull that color together around like that. Fill that white spot there. Fill that white spot there. And then gently drag these colors together like that, leaving a bit of texture behind. See? Done. Isn't that nice? Oh, loving it. I'm going to zoom out a skosh. And then next, should we indigo the eyes? I think we should. Let's keep with it. Let's keep with it. Get our little indigo eyes in. There. And the brush is just damp. Just barely damp. I didn't put it back in the water. I'm just testing to see if I can get it to blend with just a touch of dampness. Nope. Alright, dipped it in the water. I'm gonna roll it. I'm gonna roll it on the towel to get most of that moisture off. And then I'm gonna come in with just the tip of the brush and gently, gently blend. And if you have a smaller brush, you can use a smaller brush to do this. You do not have to do it with the big brush at all. This is my favorite watercolor brush, so I have a pretty good idea of what it will and will not do for me. And then let's do this one. I'm going to leave that white spot for right now. I'm going to do this one. Across the top. Create that little upward tilt there, and then across the top and out. Because I want his eyes to look happy. See? He looks happy. The tilt of the eye is what makes him look happy. I'm going to do a little eyebrow line there and there with residue from that's already on the brush. And we might as well get in our smile while we're at it. See? Aw, he looks adorable. Alright. Okay. Clean my brush really well. Dry it off mostly. And then kind of glaze it over so that that white isn't stark white. It's more of a lavender. Okay. Dig that. Next is to fix this nose. See where we've got a lot of texture and under the graphite bled in, the blue bled in right there. I mean, it's not a bad thing. I like the textures and the different variations of color. What I think I want to do is take a more, this is, oh, I have 2 oranges. Maybe we'll do a little bit of red orange, right? Is that what you are? Flame red is what this one is. And just along the bottom. And I'm not going to blend this out. I'm just using it as shadow and shape for our carrot nose situation. Along the bottom, and then kind of up and around, and then maybe a bit there, and like that. See, that's nice. I dig the textures, you guys. I dig the textures. Pull that up, pull that around like that. Line direction matters. Line direction matters. And there. And take our, I'm going to get the one that has a point. This is the other orange. This is the one that came in my first kit. I've used it quite a lot, actually. I love these Caran Neocolor II crayons. They are a fantastic medium. Like that, and then maybe that's those colors that were used on the nose. Take a little bit of some bright yellow, maybe. Yeah, and give the top a little. And you blend them together just like you would if you were using oil pastels. And just push it around on the paper until you get the smoothness or the texture of the blend that you want. Like that. And a bit on the tip there. There we go. And there's our carrot nose. It's so great. A little bit bold right there though with that red color. I'll soften that. There. See? Nice, nice. Nice, nice. Dig it. Okay, there's his little nose. Okay, let's zoom out a bit so you can see what I'm doing on the leaves. I was gonna pointing at this on the leaves for the holly, and then we're gonna finish up our berries, and yeah, I think we're gonna be done, except for I do want to address the background a little bit. Scooch these down here. These are the colors we used on the nose. Berries, background, hat. And then this is the scarf. These three colors here are the scarf. Okay. So let's take our scarf color. Actually, we're going to take our deep, dark crimson for our berries. And we're going to go ahead and give them a nice shadow where they need it. Coming around like that. Kind of coloring in. If you get a flake, just put it in a palette or throw it away. Make sure it's not loose on your page. And just a little bit of crimson where it would shadow. Alright? Like that. And like that. Good? Maybe a bit coming up like that. Okay? And then I'm going to take my, keeping continuity with our piece, our scarlet, and come on the other side. And don't forget to leave a little bit of that orange showing. Remember, we liked that. And kind of get our berries in. Like that. Kind of blend this one into the background. That's okay. Okay. That one there. And then I'm going to take the orange from the carrot, the regular orange, and I'm going to put some of those highlights back in. Like that. On our berries. Isn't that nice? Okay, I dig it. And then perhaps we will really invest in this shadow right here. Right there. A little bit. Pull it out. Good. And that gives a little delineation between our berries and our hat. Now if you want, you can blend this all in and get rid of all your white spots. I kind of like it like that. I'm going to leave it alone. Let's see, what else do I want to do? I'm going to put some texture. I'm going to kind of blend out our leaves. Let's choose a brighter green. This is bright green. How handy is that? And these leaves tend to look pretty waxy. If you've seen them in real life, they're very shiny texture. There's some bright green down. And if you don't like the bright green, you can do yours dark green, or you can throw some yellow on top and get some we're going to do a couple different things. Okay, so first I want to put down some of this bright green. Like this. And be mindful of where you're resting your hand on your page, because you can move some of this stuff around. It is not locked in if there's texture on your page. Something to keep in mind if you're using these and you're painting with them, or just using them as an oil pastel. I would treat them the same as you would an oil pastel. Maybe work from one corner down into another direction so you don't drag your arm through your piece and muck things. Or use a piece of tissue paper to cover the area you're not working on. You know, something like that. bright green. Maybe we'll do our same thing. Same thing. I am wetting the paintbrush, tapping the brushes off on the side of the cup, and then roll it a little bit or tap it a couple times to get rid of some of the water, and then gently just use the tip to move your pigment around. Depending on how much movement you want, you know, depends how much you scrub or blend or push down. I'm looking to kind of lock it in and smooth it out a bit. Give these leaves that shiny, flat kind of feel here and there. Leave that side of that one. I'll just pull that around like that. Nice. And then pull this one upwards and away from my push down into the berries and then pull up. And there will be reflections on these leaves too, so if you want to put a little red from your berries on the leaves, you can. I mean, there's nothing saying you can't. Give them some interest, right? Like, take your nice shiny red and just use it as a shadowy color, like that. Get your stem in. Why not? I mean, it is your art. You can do whatever you want. Okay. Let's see what else. What else does it need? I think it needs a little bit of crispities on the white areas. Some of them, not a lot of them. And then maybe a little bit of glow on these leaves here and there. 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 I think some here. Like that. And then maybe this side of this one. Right there, and then the tips down. Just the tips. Like that. There. Alright, so then we're done messing around with those. Okay, let's do a little bit of shadow on our hat. Just a little bit right here. And a little bit right here. Good. Okay. Put a little touch here, and a little touch here, like that, and a little touch here, a little touch here, there. And then maybe a bit here. Pull it down. Not that I've looked much at the reference photos, but they're good to keep in mind, the reference photos. And pull that, just pull that crimson in. Make it part of the scarf. Just do it gentle. This brush is almost completely dry at this point. I'm just gently getting rid of a lot of the surface texture of the mark making. Softening it out a bit. Good. Maybe a little more red. This is the scarlet red. Here and there. Good. Once again, tap it off the glass, roll it up on the page, or on the cloth, and then that leaves just enough water on the brush to blend. Once again, super light pressure as well. Not trying to pick it up, I'm just trying to push it around. That. Don't want to get rid of all my pink because I do like it. But let's make our scarf look more like it's supposed to be a reddish color. Like that. Okay. That. There we go. All right. Only other thing I really want to do is take my white and I really want to create a bit of white, like the texture of snow, that feeling of textured snow. Can you see that? How it's pulling the texture of the paper as opposed to over here. It's not textured, and I'm covering up some of those brush marks a little bit, brightening some areas, pulling them together. Now if I ram it into that indigo, it will drag it around, so be mindful. And then just don't obliterate all the shadows, but definitely want there to feel like there's a snowman under there. There we go. Like that. And then on this cheek, for sure. Cover up that splotch of color really well. There. And on this cheek a little bit. between the nose and the eye got a little muddy. Got a little graphite muddy right there, so pressing down pretty hard with the crayon and really getting in there. There. Yeah, see how it made his face pop a little bit? I dig it. And maybe a little pop of brightness here and there. Maybe a pop there. Pop there. A little bit here. There. Around there. Top of that scarf. And there we go. Yeah, I dig it. I dig it, you guys. Maybe a little. Will it put a pop on the berries? A little. There. There we go. There's all the colors I used. Zoom out. Alright, well, do we want to address the background? That is a good question. How about I try to create a little bit of a puddle of color. Clean the brush from all the other colors really, really well. And then take that pure color. Let's see if we can fix this bloom a little bit. A little, yeah, that's not bad. What else do I want to do? You know, I don't know, honestly. Do we want to put pure color down and spread it around again? Maybe we do. Look at me go. Maybe we do. Another coat. Okay. And kind of make it blend this way, because this side's not bad, right? I don't think. Okay. Grab some water. Tap that brush. And just gently move the pigment around on the page. A little more water. See if we can get that to flatten out a little bit. The color, I mean. Gently. a little more pigment. And just kind of spread it across the surface of the page. And hopefully it fills up that tooth a bit and looks more like a flat wash. Right? Once again, just like with watercolor, too much water can be your enemy, so says the girl who uses water like way too much in most of her pieces. I am very water heavy, generally speaking. I'm learning to not be, but you know. Okay, come up here and just gently, gently pull that over and up and down. Remembering that if you grab the pigment next to it, it will blend out. It will blend out. Oh no! If that's not the desired effect, go gently next to other pigments. Slowly roll, gentle, gentle, easy, easy. And there we go. Our snowman piece is officially done. Ta-da! I don't know about you guys, but I dig it. I think it looks cool. I think it turned out pretty much the way I wanted it to. Snowman background. Okay. Gently. Smooch that paper out, or that color down. There we go. Ta-da! Alright, I'm pretty happy with him. I hope that you guys enjoyed the process watching me figure out how to use the colors, how to blend them, how to make them move on the page the way I want. And there we go. Yeah. Super, super happy with it. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!